You could say I'm a bit of a hiking fanatic. I love it, and I've hiked many of Australia's iconic trails, the Larapinta, the Cape to Cape, the Kangaroo Island Wilderness Trail. In my spare time, when I'm not hiking, I'm an environmental scientist, and I've worked to research and restore the environment and to inspire others to love nature as much as I do. Perhaps not quite as much as I do, but, you know. I currently work on species discovery at Bush Blitz, travelling to remote parts of Australia, looking for species of plants and animals, and it's absolutely mind-boggling that there are still so many species out there that aren't known to science. I can't imagine a career where I don't work in nature. I love nature so much, it's hard to understand exactly where that comes from. Nature is tangled up in so many of my childhood memories, the good and the bad. Family holidays to the Grampians, exploring waterfalls and canyons. As a 14-year-old girl, Mum would drop me at the start of a walk in the morning, meeting me in the afternoon, 15 kilometres down the track and hiking out with me. School camp, my first overnight hike, the teacher encouraged me to take the map and compass and lead the group. I was pretty nervous at first, but after some encouragement, I was actually really good at it, and I felt really proud to lead my class to our campsite for the night. Or at 19, driving to the Grampians on my own after my mum's funeral, knowing it was exactly where I needed to be in that intense moment of grief. You see, nature's my happy place. It's my safety net. It's how I know everything will be okay, even when the worst things happen. I've always had nature to turn to, and when I'm hiking, my problems somehow melt away, even just a little bit. Life's simple when you're hiking. All you need to do is walk, eat, sleep, repeat. And there's something so good for the soul, reducing your world to such a simple set of tasks, carrying everything you need on your back. And at the end of the day, staring in the campfire, I feel my cave woman brain reset and recharge. I also care more for my body when I'm hiking. I've got to. It's my only mode of transport back to safety. I eat carefully, I take time to stretch, I drink lots of water, and let's be honest, a heck of a lot less beer. And I sleep amazingly because I'm absolutely pooped. The natural world is out of our control, and somehow that feels good. Like when I hiked 700 kilometres along the New South Wales coast from Sydney to Malakuta in 2016. I was feeling pretty proud, pretty in control. I've got this. When what can only be described as a weather bomb hit me. It collapsed my tarp tent and I had to go full burrito, which basically consists of me wrapping myself and my gear in my tarp like a human burrito. But you know what? There was nothing more satisfying than making it through the night and emerging from my burrito. The sun was out, it warmed my skin and helped me dry off. Hiking also helps me appreciate everything I have in my normal life. I feel a bit weird saying it, but I love hiking because it makes me appreciate not having to hike anymore. The first shower after 3 days in the bush is simply magic, and reconnecting with loved ones helps me understand how special they are. I believe happiness comes from appreciating what you have and celebrating the small things in the everyday, and hiking really helps me see that. I've always felt such a strong connection to nature. It's the place I go to recharge my batteries, the place I go when I'm hurting the most and have nowhere else to go. And since moving to Canberra 13 years ago, my go-to nature place has been an area called the Budawangs. Anyone know them? Yes. They remind me of the Grampians, but they're much more wild and challenging. You almost always get a little lost in the Budawangs. Yet the amazing cliff lines and rock formations are simply breathtaking. The deep river gorges and rainforest patches make you feel like an explorer, with names like Shrouded Gods Mountains and Hidden Valley to really spark that sense of adventure. I just love the Budawangs. But in December last year, the long-burning New South Wales fires ripped through my happy place, and it's had a huge impact on me. These unprecedented bushfires not only highlighted the impact of our changing environment and our lack of action on climate change, they ripped through the place I go to restore and recover from the stress of everyday life. My thoughts were with all the creatures, great and small, like the people living in the surrounding area, or that tiny pygmy possum, just the size of a mouse, that I found in a fallen tree, and the amazing wilderness I'd spent so many days and nights with. But the fires didn't stop there. I felt like they followed me home for Christmas to South Australia, where they devastated Kangaroo Island, another magnificent wilderness area and hiking spot. On New Year's Eve, I sweltered in 46 degrees Celsius. I was glued to Twitter, watching the devastation unfold in Malakuta. I got goosebumps as people fled the fires. I was terrified for the impact on a truly wild area where I once saw ground parrots and a beautiful dingo wandering up the track towards me as I was hiking. The smoke pollution was so bad in Canberra, I couldn't even return home. I needed my happy place more than ever, but it wasn't safe to go there. I had to endure without my safety net. The only thing that kept me going was the glimmer of hope that one day, sometime, eventually, these fires would stop burning, wouldn't they? But what would be left of these magnificent areas I once knew? Back at work, it was really hard to concentrate. I didn't feel like anyone got to relax and recharge over the Christmas break. Then in January, the epic hailstorm ripped through Canberra and it hammered the Botanic Gardens where I work. We were gutted. Our bosses organised a counsellor to come and speak to us. At first, a group counselling session was pretty weird and awkward. But, we worked through that, and it really hit home when one of the big burly ranger guys spoke up about how he'd witnessed the fires rip through New South Wales, and now the hail had ripped through his one special place that was left, the Botanic Gardens. I lost it. I quietly wept, embarrassed for crying at work. But as I turned around, I saw that many of my colleagues were also crying. Then it clicked with me. It was okay to feel this overwhelming sense of loss, of grief for what was happening. Grief for our planet, grief for all the burnt areas, and grief for our special places. My environmental science friends are feeling so deflated, so helpless, and at times directionless. What's the point in all our work when it can be wiped out in just one summer? As we slowly pick ourselves back up, we now see there has never been a more important time to work together to help in the recovery. My big hope from all this destruction, loss and devastation is that we use it as a wake-up call. We have lived through just a taste of what life might be like if things don't change. So I hope this kicks all people into action on many levels to demand a better future. With my precious Budawangs out of bounds, I've been getting my nature fix in small doses where I can, walks in nature reserves near my house or little car camping trips to unburnt areas. But I need a hike. I'm going to get out there as soon as I can, as soon as it's safe to do so. Right now, more than ever, I need that hiking nature euphoria. I need to fall asleep when it gets dark, to sleep under the stars and to wake up with the birds. More than ever, I need nature to heal me. And I need to see the recovery begin, to witness that incredible power of nature. There's nothing like that tiny green shoot in a blackened field to signal hope. And that's what I need right now, a signal of hope. That's what we all need, that glimmer of hope that everything will be okay. I know things will never be the same again, but I also know that nature is truly amazing. And if we give it even the smallest reprieve or assistance, it is absolutely incredible at recovering. Thank you.
Dr. Kate Grarock, speaking at the Occam's Razor live event in Canberra. So wise and so inspirational. She's an ecologist, a superstar of STEM, and an expedition leader at Bush Blitz, a scheme to see what's living in the landscape. I'm Robin Williams.